I saw a small influencer at the gym on campus. I was immediately smitten. Afterwards, I started asking around on the campus wall to find out if she was single. Soon, a male classmate replied, "She doesn't have a boyfriend right now. Feel free to pursue her." But before I could even be happy for a second, the comments from the group chat started mocking him. Is this what it means to have the confidence of a best friend? She doesn't have a boyfriend right now? When did she ever have one? Then Kenji replied, when did I ever allow her to have a boyfriend? She can only have one when I say so. I was speechless. Is he trying to act cool in front of me? Is he messing with me? But then, in the next second, I awakened. Suddenly, a barrage of comments appeared in front of me. It read, just one confession from the male supporting character, and the main characters will realize their feelings and get together. Go for it, supporting male character. This is just another step in the game between the main characters. The author is so good at writing this. This supporting male character is the catalyst. What a brilliant setup. While my roommates were all telling me not to be the third wheel, I went straight to the comments section to find that guy and asked for the girl's WeChat. Catalyst? I'm a Molotov cocktail. Chapter 1. I submitted a post on the campus wall. Please help find this girl. I've seen her in the gym a few times. Always wanted to get her contact info. With her curvy body, who could resist? If she doesn't have a boyfriend, I'll definitely go after her. If she's taken, I'll just wish her well. My post was quickly published on the campus wall. The attached picture showed the girl's graceful back, a black tight-fitting shirt paired with yoga pants highlighting her perfect figure. It was incredibly attractive. Netizens commented, "Dude, you have good taste. Give us an update." I've seen her. She's in the gym on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Not only is she fit, but she's also stunningly beautiful. Other commenters added, "Yeah, I remember her, but I've seen a guy pick her up outside the gym." Another netizen responded, "With a figure like that, she must have a boyfriend." My mood fluctuated with the comment section. Soon, another comment popped up. Heartbreaker commented, "She's single right now. You can pursue her." A sub-thread quickly formed. Some people said, "Whoa, hey, you really know her, huh?" Others commented, "So she's single? When will she have a boyfriend, though?" Another reply, "Kenji, you're really good at pretending. Is this your way of flexing? Being childhood sweethearts?" The tone was familiar, teasing. It felt like the comments section of the campus wall had turned into a public group chat between friends. Heartbreaker replied to each comment, "Yo, we've known each other since we were kids. Of course I know her." He replied to another, "When will she have a boyfriend? She's still so young. I won't let her date so early." He replied to the next, "Who wants to be her childhood sweetheart? She's just my little nemesis, my arch rival." A naive female student who didn't quite get the context chimed in, "Hey, the person who posted, she's single, you can go after her. Give us an update when you two are together." But Heartbreaker skipped that comment entirely. My roommate, Leo, said to me, "Damn, Alex, you've become a part of their little couple play." Another roommate, not understanding, asked, "What are you talking about? Didn't he just say they're enemies?" Leo shook his head and replied, "Come on, think about it. What's he really trying to say? If you ask me, this guy's just pretending. Either don't comment or openly admit the flirting. What's with all the pretending? Why does he want everyone to watch? Is he into some kind of cyber exhibitionism or something?" The roommates were all gossiping about me. I could only sneer. It was my misfortune to be moved by this girl. I was about to privately message the campus wall to retract my post. Suddenly, my screen was flooded. The barrage of comments exploded onto the screen. The comments read, "The male lead's rival is here. Next, the male rival will relentlessly pursue the female lead, but the female lead will be upset, yet quietly endure. Meanwhile, the female lead will publicly humiliate the rival, making sure the rival knows her heart belongs to her Kenji, male lead." So the rival's confession will actually serve as the moment the male lead and female lead confirm their feelings for each other. Who says the rival has to be evil? I think this type of catalyst rival is awesome. My fingers paused for a moment. Chapter 2. I stared at the scrolling barrage of comments for a full half hour. Finally, I managed to process everything. This world was just like a romance drama set in a university campus. The male and female leads had been in an ambiguous relationship since childhood, and I was the most powerful catalyst in their tug-of-war, pushing them to finally confirm their feelings for each other. I clicked on Heartbreaker's profile. His space had no privacy settings. Among his colorful daily posts, One stood out. Someone lost a big bet, so I'm giving her a break this time and letting her keep the sneakers in my collection. But with a twist. She has to wear them while running on the treadmill in the gym and can't take them off by the time she returns them. These shoes will be well worth it. The next day, another post appeared. Unbelievable. This little troublemaker lost the sneakers I've kept for so long. I haven't even worn them once. My roommate asked, Alex, aren't those the sneakers I saw you smiling about when you brought them back to the dorm last week? I nodded. Yeah, that's the pair. Last week, when I was at the gym, the sole of my shoe came undone. I was about to drag myself back to my room when she handed me a pair of shoes. Her face was flushed as she said, Hey, these are my cousin's shoes. He doesn't want them anymore. If you don't mind, you can use them for now. I was puzzled at first why she was wearing her cousin's shoes. Didn't they feel uncomfortable? I didn't expect the truth to be this bizarre, but those shoes were so precious, and she was surprisingly generous. Interesting. So I privately messaged Heartbreaker. Hey, I'm the one who posted. Can I add you as a friend and learn more about this girl? As soon as I clicked send friend request, my roommates quickly stopped me. Leo said, Alex, are you out of your mind? If you get closer to him, aren't you just playing right into his hands? Don't become the catalyst in their love story. Chapter 3. The friend request was quickly accepted. Unlike the enthusiastic comments on the campus wall, Heartbreaker was brief with his words. Hey, you and her seem to have a pretty good relationship. He replied, Not really. I responded, No way, man, you two must have something special, right? He replied, Just regular friends. I said, Oh, I see. Well, that's good. A series of ellipses popped up on the screen, followed by a question mark. I pretended not to notice his annoyance. I continued messaging. After all, you've known each other since childhood. I was just concerned about your special relationship. But since you say you're just friends, I'll take your word for it and go ahead and pursue her. I added, By the way, do you mind sharing her contact info with me? His response came almost immediately. His tone turned furious. Are you out of your mind? Are you seriously asking for your friend's contact info? Would you just give out your friend's contact to anyone like that? I stared at the screen, imagining how furious he must be, typing so hard his fingers might have pierced the screen. I replied, Sorry, I was out of line. Thanks for the reminder. No worries, I'll just plan it out next time I see her. I'll ask her for her contact directly. What do you think? The messages stopped for a long time. The screen went completely quiet. However, his personal profile had an eye-catching yellow diamond membership symbol. Now, it was the kind that lets you see the browsing history of his profile. The barrage of comments continued. The male lead will be fine no matter how good-looking or smart the rival is. The female lead will never like him. Our heartbreaker is free-spirited, bold, and carefree. Meanwhile, the honest and dull rival looks like an old-fashioned bore who doesn't know anything about romance. Who would like him? The barrage continued to flood the screen. They misunderstood my cautiousness as cowardice. They interpreted my following the rules as a lack of romance. They were waiting for me to take action, hoping to see me fail. But I would never satisfy their expectations. I said, Catalyst? Leaning back in my chair, I casually replied to my roommates. Maybe it's more like a Molotov cocktail, a bottle that could explode their relationship. Chapter 4. Being good-looking and smart. No money is my most important weapon. I'm very confident in my weapon, so I'm quite sure if someone judges me with ill intentions first, they'll be tossing and turning in their sleep. Heartbreaker. No. Kenji's reply never came, but his activity feed quietly disappeared. Many updates on the other hand. Iris's presence gradually grew. He posted, Iris is getting harder to deal with. She made me go to the cafeteria to get her lunch today, and then asked me to get 8 meat dishes and 8 vegetarian dishes. No choice, I still have to spoil her. The next post said, When to play basketball today, and she ran over to give me water, all smug about how bad I was at playing. Pretty cute. Today, some guy asked her for her contact info right in front of me. She hid behind me. These updates would occasionally catch my eye. I'd glance at them for a moment. I can't deny that Iris's face was definitely the type I liked. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, I avoided every gym day when Iris was supposed to come. But then, on the next Tuesday, a day she was never supposed to show up, I ran into her. I wasn't surprised at all. She was wearing a white tank top and black tight shorts, her figure as curvy as ever. The The moment she walked out of the locker room with a water bottle in hand, her eyes met mine. I gave her a slight smile. Chapter 5. The barrage of comments flooded the screen. Why is the female lead at the gym today? Lucky guy, the rival got to run into her again. Some people mocked me. Come on, clown. I nodded at her casually and said, hey, then kept walking ahead. She stood there, her lips pressed tightly together, as if waiting for something. But I simply greeted her and continued walking. It wasn't until I was about to pass her that I pulled out a gift box from my backpack. I said, this is for you. Iris took a step back, furrowing her brows. I don't need it. I explained, it's not for you exactly. Last time, you let me borrow your cousin's shoes, so as a thank you, I bought him a new pair. She loosened her grip on the water bottle, looked down at the box as if she were trying to confirm something. I smiled and said, it's custom made by an American studio. Your cousin should like them. Her eyes brightened for a moment. The barrage of comments started again. What is the rival doing? Can someone wake him up? Just a pair of old shoes, and he's talking about American studios. The female lead won't care about that. No use showing off your wealth. Iris turned her face away, the bag in her hand wrinkling slightly from her grip. I didn't say much more and was about to turn and leave. Then she spoke. Wait a minute. Her voice came from behind me. She asked, was it you who confessed to me on the campus wall? I replied, yes, it was me. She said, I don't use a QQ account. I only found out about this recently. I said, I rarely use it either. I specifically logged in to confess to you. Her face turned red. I quickly apologized. Don't worry, I'll withdraw the post and never disturb you again. She asked, why withdraw the post? I replied, someone told me you're Mr. Sato. That should be your cousin, right? He said you two are just regular friends, but I think you actually make a great match. So before I could finish, Iris suddenly interrupted me, frowning and asking, he said we're just regular friends? I replied, yes. She asked, when did he say that? I said, he told me that while we were chatting. She said, can you show me the chat history? I hesitated, I'm not sure. She said, just the part about this. I nodded, all right. She stared at the screen for a long time, her gaze slowly darkening. Finally, she let out a low laugh. Her voice seemed to be filled with anger as she said, he wasn't wrong at all. I'm currently single. As for him and me, we're just regular friends. I have the right and freedom to make friends with the opposite sex. There's no need for you to withdraw the post because of that person. She asked, Senior, what's your name? I replied, Alex Chen. She said, Chen Senior. Iris handed me a QR code and asked, can I add you to my contacts? Chapter 6. The barrage of comments broadcasted Iris and Kenji's argument for the whole day. Iris questioned Kenji. You told Alex that I'm just your ordinary friend? Her voice was shaky and her emotions were clearly stirred. Kenji averted his gaze, impatience seeping into his tone as he replied, yeah, just ordinary friends. What else? Iris locked eyes with him, frustration clearly visible as she retorted, what else, huh? So you really think we're just ordinary friends? Kenji shrugged nonchalantly. I just said it casually, Iris. Why are you so fixated on it? Iris's voice quivered with a hint of tears as she said, casually? You've been saying stuff like that since we were kids, but others don't take it as just casual. Kenji's brows furrowed deeper, his tone rising. What others think is their business. Am I supposed to go around telling people that our relationship is something more? Iris shot back. Why can't you say that? Kenji was stunned for a second, opening his mouth, but his tone grew sharper. Iris, my mouth is on my face. I can say whatever I want. What exactly do you want from me? Iris choked up. All I want is for you to tell me that at least you don't think like that in your heart. Kenji laughed coldly. No, I truly believe that from the bottom of my heart. Who do you think you are? The air seemed to freeze at his words. Kenji froze, avoiding her gaze. Iris stared at him, wiped her eyes quickly, then gave a low, almost sarcastic laugh. Fine then, it's settled. With that, she threw the gift box to the ground and turned away, not looking back. Kenji stood there, his fists clenched, his lips trembling, his eyes red. The barrage of comments continued. It's all the rival's fault. Though it was the male lead who called them ordinary friends, why did the rival have to say it out loud? Another comment read, this bittersweet campus romance. Even the fights are sweet. The more they argue now, the more they'll kiss later. Hee hee. Someone else commented, both of them are stubborn and soft-hearted. They won't admit their feelings. The cannon fodder rival should hurry up and be the catalyst. Kenji posted a new update. Women just love to get angry. The barrage continued. How many days until they make up? Another comment said, Kenji just needs to sweet-talk her and the female lead will immediately back down. Unlike the optimistic comments, Iris and Kenji's argument didn't seem to resolve even after a few days. I posted 3 updates in one day. The weather is great, perfect for meeting new girls. Added a new friend. Bought a new car, planning to take a new girl for a spin. I didn't name anyone, but I left enough room for imagination. Not long after, Kenji furiously found me on QQ and asked, "Do you have her contact information?" I pretended not to understand. Who? He replied, Iris. Did you seriously ask her for it? I took my time, adding a long ellipsis before replying slowly. No, she asked me for it. He responded immediately, impossible. I asked, why do you say that? He replied, you're lying. How could she ask a stranger for her contact information? I said, if you don't believe me, why don't you just go ask her directly? Chapter 7. The gym wasn't crowded. Iris was sitting in the spinning area, taking selfies in front of the mirror. I walked over and handed her a cup of milk tea. I said, here, have some to rehydrate. She nodded, thanks. I took the initiative to start the conversation. Actually, Kenji didn't mean to say it like that. She froze for a second, then replied coolly, really? I nodded. Men, you know, they get insecure when they see someone confessing to you. She scoffed and said, he'd be insecure because of me? I replied, of course, any guy would be uneasy seeing someone chasing after their childhood friend. Her brows furrowed slightly, her eyes showing a flicker of doubt, but soon her expression turned cold again. She said, then why is he so stubborn? I said, it's because he cares so much that he behaves that way. He probably doesn't even realize it. But the more he cares, the less he wants to show it. Iris's gaze finally met mine. She looked up at me and asked, why are you saying all this? I replied, because I think you two are a great match. I spoke calmly, like stating a fact, and then continued, I was attracted to your appearance, but your years of friendship with Kenji are even more precious. There's no need for me to really pursue you just to be the clown. Her eyes flickered for a moment, seemingly surprised by my directness. I added, in this disagreement, it's partly because of me. If I hadn't posted, none of this would have happened. She quickly shook her head. It's not your fault, senior. I smiled. Anyway, if you're willing, I can help you. She asked, help me? I said, right now, you and Kenji are fighting, not talking to each other, and things are tense like a bowstring. Why not use me and find out how much he really cares about you? She asked, how would you do that? I replied, for example, I could be the middleman, arrange for both of you to hang out together. Don't worry, I'll play the role of a good third wheel. Chapter 8. Kenji said, looking at the photo, it seemed a bit like you, but now that I see you in person, it really is you. He leaned back in his chair, raising his chin slightly, his eyes scrutinizing me. I replied calmly, I took a sip of tea and added, it's been almost 10 years, hasn't it? My biological father was an alcoholic, gambler, and abusive. When I was 10, my mom took me and changed our surname after the divorce, then remarried. From that point on, we had no contact with my father's side of the family. They neither knew nor cared about our lives. And Kenji, he was my biological father's brother's son. When I made the realization, I couldn't help but laugh. In the original story, the male lead's happy childhood was only briefly mentioned. It seemed that the male rival was just there to serve as a contrast. Kenji raised his eyes and examined me for a few seconds before his lips curved into a faint smirk. Did Alex buy a car? What kind of car? An electric bike? I chuckled. Yeah, he got a part-time job. It's easier for me to pick up food from the restaurant. He burst out laughing. So now you're delivering food? Guess you're short on cash, huh? I nodded. Yeah, sometimes I need a little extra. He seemed to have discovered a huge secret, sneering. Yeah, your mom's got a kid to take care of. She's lucky to even marry into a decent family. He lit a cigarette, exhaling as he continued. Speaking of which, your mom's pretty something. She's got marital problems, and instead of talking it out, she goes and calls the cops to divorce uncle. Just has a straightforward personality. I smiled. Is that so? I'm straightforward too. Want to try my fist? I interrupted him, my tone as calm as if discussing the weather. Kenji's expression froze for a moment. Then he put on a look of disdain. Alex is really accomplished, huh? No wonder he can deliver food. But honestly, you're studying philosophy, and after you graduate, if you can't find a job, you'll probably be stuck delivering food. How long can you do that? What will you do when you get old? Just then, a voice interrupted. What are you two talking about? Iris's voice came from a distance and got closer. Kenji's face froze as if someone had hit pause. He immediately put on his signature smile and said, "We were talking about Alex." Iris approached, glanced at Kenji, then at me, and asked, "Alex?" Iris and Kenji were still in the middle of their argument and silent treatment. The atmosphere between them was awkward, subtle, but my comment seemed to have sparked something in Kenji. Kenji draped his arm around Iris's shoulder and said sympathetically, "Yeah, Alex is actually my cousin, but he's having a hard time right now, struggling to make ends meet. Every day, he has to take a part-time job delivering food." Iris tilted her head, looking at me and muttering to herself, "Struggling to make ends meet? Life's hard." I lowered my head to take a sip of my tea, offering no response. I had ridden an electric bike here today, dressed in casual clothes, keeping it simple and low-key. But Iris obviously still remembered the way I usually looked. One time, she couldn't help but ask, "Senior, how many different models of Maybach, Rolls-Royce, and Bugatti do you have?" At the time, I calmly responded, "Of course, it's all in." I asked, "By the way, how does the junior remember all the model names so clearly?" She tilted her head slightly, speaking as naturally as she could. "Well, you drive here every day. It's hard not to remember." Now her brows furrowed slightly, as if processing what Kenji had just said or maybe piecing something together in her mind. She looked at me with a sharp gaze that clearly said two words: "Don't believe." Chapter 9. Alex, aren't you delivering food? I've seen a lot of people live streaming their delivery jobs on social media. They get quite a bit of tips. You should consider it. I laughed. That's true, but I don't really do much on social media. Kenji grinned, pleased with himself. Well, I've got 8,000 followers on my account. I can help you promote yours. Let's take a photo together. I replied, sure. I stepped in front of the camera confidently and said, Kenji, could you stand on your toes a bit? Otherwise, we won't fit in the frame together. Kenji was speechless. Iris, standing aside, snorted in agreement. Yeah, Kenji, why don't you stand on a chair and take a photo with Alex? Kenji's face darkened and he grumbled, handing me his phone. Forget it. I'll pass on the photo today. You take a selfie, Alex. All right. I snapped a photo and handed it back to him. He opened his quick video app and asked, what's your account name? I told him. He quickly posted an update, tagging me. To my brothers, please help my buddy follow his account. The comments came in fast. Kenji raised his chin proudly. You see, I'm pretty popular on quick video, if you hang out with me. But the next second, the screen flooded with comments from, isn't this Alex? I love watching his store reviews. Kenji is such a poser. What do you mean, help him out? His followers are 1,000 times fewer than Alex's. Is this a joke between friends? Kenji's smile froze on his face. He clicked on my account, and the screen displayed a glaring number of followers, 8 million. His finger froze, almost dropping the phone as his hand trembled. The screen's glow illuminated his face, clearly showing his shock, disbelief, and anger. He muttered under his breath, impossible. His lips barely moved, as if he was clenching his teeth, unwilling to accept what was in front of him. Iris also saw it. She asked, 8 million followers? She chuckled lightly, her eyes holding a mix of admiration and amusement. She turned to me and said, that's impressive. Her words were like a stone tossed into the water, sending invisible ripples, but also shattering Kenji's last ounce of confidence. His face changed completely, his lips pressed tight, and he no longer had the strength to maintain any facade of calm. I rubbed my temples, suppressing the smile at the corner of my lips, and spoke casually. I'm just messing around, but thanks for the recommendation, little brother. If you ever need any help, feel free to reach out. Chapter 10. Iris asked, I've been posting some dance videos lately. Could you help promote them? She said this while looking at me seriously. I replied, of course, as a friend, I won't charge you. I agreed without hesitation. I added, just send me the caption later, and I'll help you out. She let out a sigh of relief, and her gaze softened, showing a hint of affection as she said, thank you. I responded, by the way, why don't you two talk more? I invited both of you out today to help you break the ice. Iris glanced up at Kenji, who was walking ahead of us. His pace was quick, as if deliberately trying to distance himself, not even bothering to look back. She said, "It's okay." The comments started to roll in. "It's okay? What do you mean, it's okay? If you keep this up, you'll lose him. The female lead is so heartless. Can't she tell the male lead is upset? She's chatting with Alex, the side character." One comment from someone clearly able to tell the gender said, "But the female lead's life isn't just about love, right? She can still be the lead of her own life. Why should she rely on a man? She wants to be an internet celebrity, and here's a big influencer willing to promote her for free. If she doesn't grab the opportunity, she's crazy." I rolled my eyes. Iris softly asked, "Senior, do you think I don't care about him? Do you think I'm being a bit too much?" I smiled. "No, not at all. I'm just thinking, since you two are so close, logically, you shouldn't be giving each other the cold shoulder for so long." She didn't answer, her brow furrowing slightly as she seemed to be lost in thought. In the distance, Kenji stopped at the jewelry store and glanced back at Iris, his eyes showing a hint of eagerness to please. I asked, "Iris, do you want to go over?" She withdrew her gaze and looked at me, saying, "Let's wait a bit." The comments flooded in. "Wait? Still waiting? How long are you going to drag this on? What's the female lead doing? Doesn't she understand what Kenji wants? He wants to buy her a gift and apologize. Why isn't she accepting?" Some also commented, "I think the female lead is weighing the pros and cons." Another comment read, "It's all the side character's fault. He's so disgusting." Another user responded, "Enough already. Can you stop with the double standards? Isn't the male lead also disgusting? Was it the side character who caused the main couple's argument?" At the jewelry store, Kenji awkwardly stood still for a while, trying to find an angle to attack me. Finally, he spoke. "By the way, Alex, have you signed with a company yet?" I replied, "I have." My tone was calm, not shying away from it. Iris looked up and cautiously asked, "Just now, you said you'd promote me for free. Is that going to cause problems for you?" I answered, "Don't worry, there won't be any problems." Kenji's smile was bright, but his tone turned sharp as he said, "Don't you need to check with the company? Won't they mind? After all, MCN agencies aren't as loosely managed these days." I responded, "The management isn't that strict." Kenji's smile deepened, and there was a hint of smugness in his voice. "Alex, I'm not saying it, but a company like that probably won't last long, right? Are you sure signing with them is a good choice?" I smiled slightly. I may not have made myself clear. I continued with a slight grin, "It's my own company." The air suddenly became still for a second. Kenji's smile froze, and he asked, "What did you say?" I maintained my smile and replied, "I said it's my company. My mom remarried, and she married well. My stepdad not only doesn't hit me, but he even gave me money to invest in starting my own company." He gritted his teeth. "But didn't you say your living expenses weren't enough?" I smiled. "Yeah, originally my dad wanted to give me $1 million a month, but my mom thought that was too much, so in the end I only got $200,000. Kenji tightened his grip on the cup in his hand, the sound of the glass creaking as he squeezed harder. He said, $200,000 a month? I replied, "Well, what can I do? I have to support myself." The comments exploded again. "How much did you just say your living expenses are?" "That much. 200,000. Teach me how to live with that much." So the side character is a rich second generation? I don't believe it unless you transfer me 10,000. Then I'll believe it. Another comment read, "Alex, I'm a girl, and I'm also good looking. Did you see that? Take a look at me." I kept smiling softly. Iris's gaze was fixed on me, full of affection. Kenji and Iris had been childhood friends for years. There were many ways to break up their relationship, but I wasn't here to pursue her or gain her favor. With enough money and power, I could show her a more suitable path and a better match. I didn't need to do much, just a slight spark to ignite that little bit of greed. The rest would come naturally. Chapter 11. Iris's attitude changed noticeably. Her previous politeness and a certain distance from me had shifted into something more eager, yet with an air of testing. She asked, "Alex, are you free tonight? I want to thank you for your help last time and treat you to a meal. Tomorrow works too, whenever you have time." She even started liking my daily posts. In contrast, her relationship with Kenji seemed to have eased somewhat. However, whenever Kenji tried to get closer, she always kept a key distance. Outwardly, she began emphasizing, "I've known Kenji for a long time. We're just ordinary friends." Kenji's face slightly changed when he heard this. Iris coldly added, Isn't it fine to be ordinary friends? You've said that yourself. Kenji's smile remained forced, and his palms were clenched tight, turning white with tension. His emotions were becoming more extreme. He blamed everything on me. Finally, it all erupted. He anonymously posted on the campus wall, "Alex is a scumbag, interfering in other people's relationships." What he didn't expect was that it didn't take long for people to uncover the performance Kenji had orchestrated earlier. A classmate commented, "Dude, don't you remember? You said Iris was single and told others they could freely pursue her." Someone found an old screenshot of that comment and sarcastically remarked, "Who was it that said she's currently single? Feel free to pursue her." Men, your flip-flopping is faster than flipping a book. Even Kenji's friends began to turn on him, commenting, "Kenji, this really isn't good. You can't accuse someone without evidence. We all know you like Iris, but you can't just slander people like this." Kenji's social media went silent, no more daily posts. Instead, there was only a story with a solid black background reading, "Was I wrong?" Meanwhile, the tide of comments completely shifted. The comments flooded in. "Honestly, I don't think Alex did anything wrong. The male lead's confusing actions just backfired. The male lead acts all pretentious, and the female lead is materialistic." The foolish comments from before, just another slap. Some users commented, "Both the male and female leads are idiots. Now I think Alex is the only clear-headed one." Chapter 12. The story took an unexpected turn in a direction no one could have predicted. Iris posted a long message in the campus walls comments section, responding to all the rumors about her and Kenji. She wrote, "Kenji and I are just ordinary friends. Please stop spreading rumors and slandering innocent people." The comments went wild. Is the ship I was rooting for really going to end like this? Even though the male lead made mistakes, doesn't this kind of distancing make their childhood friendship seem fake? One comment read, "How about we ship the female lead with the male side character instead?" Iris called me, her words full of disappointment in Kenji and affection for me. She said, "He always thinks he's right. Sometimes I just find him so annoying. Alex, you're different. You're good at studying and have great abilities. I think maybe we should give it a try." Leo laughed wildly in my ear. "Alex, you're too good. You've truly become a Molotov cocktail. Are you going to confess to her?" I almost spit out my drink. I said, "Confess? Are you crazy?" Iris's voice froze. "What are you laughing at?" I smiled. "Iris, do you remember the time you casually gave me Kenji's treasured shoes? And what about calling someone you're supposedly dating your cousin? Now that you see I have some money and can help you, you're suddenly sticking to me. What does that say about you?" My voice turned cold as I added, "You're a worthless person." Kenji's collapse was far from over. He became notorious at school and was isolated by his friends. At that time, Iris had been so eager to become an internet celebrity and match with me, the rich second-generation boyfriend, that she indulged in excessive spending, buying luxury goods with abandon, racking up significant debts. She even faced violent collection demands due to online loans. Later, she suddenly came into money and paid off all her debts in one go. But not long after, it was discovered that she had been secretly working as a colored streamer on an external site to repay her debts. The news spread throughout the school, and she became a social outcast. I kindly bought a box of Wash Your Troubles Away health products and had someone deliver it to her dorm. The comments now flooded in with the main characters acting like this, what am I supposed to watch? Someone commented, "Watch Alex." I'm all for Alex being the new male lead. The comments weren't the only thing on screen. A notification popped up. "Alex, would you like to become the new male lead?" I quickly clicked no between the options. As I swiped my finger across the screen, all the comments disappeared. I looked up at the sunlight streaming through the window. I said, "Being a Molotov cocktail, someone who's not afraid, who can get angry and turn everything upside down, sounds good enough to me."